everyone. Today, we all are celebrating the 55th Foundation Day of ICAR-IIHR, and we have many dignitaries who are going to be part of this occasion. We have Dr. Ashok Talwai as our chief guest, who is joining us online along with our most respected DDG and ADG Horticulture from ICAR. Let us have the ICAR song followed by ICAR-IIHR song.
जय जय कृषि परिषद भारत की का संरक्षण शस्य श्यामला छवि भारत की जय जय कृषि परिषद भारत की हिम प्रदेश से सागर तट तक मरुधरती से पूर्वोत्तर तक हर पथ पर है मित्र कृषक की शिक्षा शोध प्रसार सकल तक आशा स्वावलंबित भारत की जय जय कृषि परिषद भारत की जय जय कृषि परिषद भारत की
क्षमैक शांतिरुत्तमा विधेयक परमा दृष्टिर हिंसैक सुखावह. Righteousness is one highest good. Forgiveness is one supreme peace. Knowledge is one supreme contentment. And benevolence one sole happiness. These are a few lines from Vidura Niti. With these, it has been our tradition to invoke the divinity in us before we start any of our important celebrations. Now, I request Dr. Uma Maheshwari, Dr. Smarnika, and Mrs. Hema Malini to kindly present the invocation song invoking Goddess Saraswati, the divine of intellect, for the successful conduct of this function.
जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती तव चरणों प्रणमामः. जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती तव चरणों प्रणमामः. नाद ब्रह्ममयी जय बागेश्वरी नाद ब्रह्ममयी जय बागेश्वरी शरणं ते गच्छामः. जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती तव चरणों प्रणमामः. त्वमसि शरण्या त्रिभुवनधन्या त्वमसि शरण्या त्रिभुवनधन्या सुरमुनिवन्दित चरणा नवरस मधुरा कविता मुखरा नवरस मधुरा कविता मुखरा स्मित रुचि रुचिराभरणा. जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती तव चरणों प्रणमामः. ललितकलामयी ज्ञानविभामयी ललितकलामयी ज्ञानविभामयी वीणा पुस्तकधारिणी मतिरस्माकं तव पदकमले मतिरस्माकं तव पदकमले ऐकुण्ठाविषहारिणी सुरभारती तव चरणौ प्रणमामः नाद ब्रह्ममयि जय भागेश्वरि नाद ब्रह्ममयि जय भागेश्वरि शरणं ते गच्छामः जय जय हे भगवती सुरभारती तव चरणौ प्रणमामः तव चरणौ प्रणमामः तव चरणौ प्रणमामः
Thank you, team. That was a very soothing and divinely invocation. We all are indeed feeling blessed. Now I request our respected director, sir, to kindly welcome the chief guest and all other dignitaries and kindly give his introductory remarks.
A very good afternoon to all of you. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಅನ್ನದಾತರಿಗೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ನಮನ. ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದಲೇ ನಾವು ಇರೋದು. We have today celebrating the 55th Foundation Day of our institute. Greetings to all the people who are involved in the activities of Indian Institute of Horticulture Research. We have received greetings from many dignitaries, including our DG, Dr. Mahapatraji, Dr. Dalwai, Dr. Ayyappan, Dr. Sanjay Agarwal, Sudhanshu Pandey, Dr. Abhilash Lekiji, Rajbirji, and many other dignitaries. Based on our invitation, they have informed that they will not be able to participate physically, but many of them are participating online. My greetings to them also. Most respected the Minister of Horticulture, Totegarika, ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾದ ಮುನಿರತ್ನರವರೇ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ದಳವಾಯ್, CEO ನಾರಾ, our respected DDG Horticulture, Dr. A.K. Singh, other two pillars of the SMD, both Pandays, V.K. Pandey and also B.K. Pandey, and directors of many institutions, heads of the division, most respected IRC chairman, RAC chairman, and members of RAC who have joined online, many of them, IMC members, scientists of this institution, administrative staff, technical staff, supporting staff, KVK staff, the staff from two of our most prestigious substations or regional stations, and above all, our own farm workers. Greetings to you on this particular day of the Institution Foundation Day. Indian Institute of Horticulture Research took birth on 5th of September 1967. 5th of September, as you know, it is falls on Teachers' Day. It is a lesson to all of us. The blessings of our great teachers are available for us all the time. And it has grown into a great institution since then, within a short period, under the leadership of our founder director, Dr. G.S. Randava, who scouted himself to collect the great workers during those days and bring it to our institution to serve the nation in sector of horticulture. His contributions are many. I am a witness to that. In fact, when I was working in the grape breeding laboratory, he himself has written in hand at that time, 1967 onwards, to all the countries to get the grape germplasm. At one point of a time, our institution boasted for having collected about 1,026 grape varieties or accessions. Later on, we passed it on to NRC grapes on that one. And the institution, after growing into adult, and gave birth to many other institutions, two national institutes, We had stations at Nagpur, Godhra, Ranchi, Chetali, and Lucknow. Later on, many of them have become NRCs or national institutes. For National Institute of Grapes, Banana, Citrus, and Pomegranate, and Directorate of Medicinal and Aromatic Crops also was part of our initiatives at ICAR-IIHR. ICAR-IIHR today has about 263 hectares. Sir, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ 263 ಹೆಕ್ಟೇರು ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಇದೆ ಪ್ರಯೋಗಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟು ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ 2 KVKಗಳಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಒಂದು ಹಿರೇಳಿಲಿದೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಗೋಣಿಕೊಪ್ಪದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಭಾರತದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಿಗೂ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಗಳಿಂದ ಒದಗಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ದು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ 2 KVKಗಳಿದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ AICRP ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಆನ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ವಿ ಡೀಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 54 ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಹಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಕ್ರಾಪ್ಸ್ ಸರ್. 54 ವಿವಿಧ ತೋಟಗಾರಿಕಾ ಬೆಳೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಣ್ಣಿನ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು, ತರಕಾರಿ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು, ಹೂವಿನ ಬೆಳೆಗಳು, ಔಷಧಿ ಸಸ್ಯಗಳು ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ನು ಯಾವುದೇ ತೋಟಗಾರಿಕಾ ಬೆಳೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದುವರೆದು ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮತ್ತು ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಲು ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಸರ್. Our institute is also having developed about 301 different varieties of fruits, vegetables, ornamentals, and medicinal crops. And we have developed about 155 technologies. Most of them are farmer friendly. And our selected top 15 technologies, it is giving a revenue of about, it is adding to the national economy of 30,000 crores. 30,000 ಕೋಟಿಗಳಷ್ಟು ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳು ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಎಕಾನಮಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿಗಳು. We have the state-of-the-art laboratories, including in natural resources, atomic absorption spectrophoton, electronics microscopes. We have gamma chambers, LCMS, polyhouses, net houses, growth chambers, mist chambers, and above all, we have a gene bank. Not to lose any of the germplasm that we have collected, we have developed a gene bank wherein we are storing even the pollen grains also as half genotype of those things, and cryopreserved. They are cryopreserved, and whenever that is required, we are going to retrieve that one. Additional thing is that we are also maintaining a garden of RET medicinal crops, which are the medicinal crops that is going to be, which are threatened, that also we are maintaining, and we have a biodiversity park. Now, the challenge is that we have reached the production of about 329 million tons of fruits, vegetables from an area of about 27 million hectares. The challenge is the farmers have to get a better price. The production part is over. The challenge is to get a better price. As our chief guest of the today, who is going to deliver his speech, Dr. Dalwai, he always mentioned enough of we have cereals and many cereals. Let us diversify. His one word which buzzes me when he was the chairman of doubling of farmers' income, for which I was also a member of that committee, always says go for diversification. Diversification. Change the crop geometry. Changing from rice and wheat from 1 hectare, just 1 hectare, farmers can get an additional income of 1,02,000 rupees. That was the calculation that we had made at that point of time. This is what is required. We have to change the crop geometry towards many of these horticulture crops. And he always stresses on secondary horticulture also, secondary agriculture, wherein many of the activities like beekeeping and other things also will come into picture. And at our institute, we are not lagged behind in terms of the projects. We have 23 main projects, 166 sub-projects, and above all, we are happy to say that we have 90 externally funded projects. We know our difficulty in ICR for cornering the economic resources, so we have gone to externally funded projects. 90 of such projects are available. Sir, we are very happy to say that our previous directors, they have all contributed to our growth of this particular institution, starting from Dr. G.S. Randava, Dr. K.L. Chedda, Dr. R.M. Pandey, Dr. I.S. Yadav, Dr. P.P. Reddy, Dr. S.D. Shikamani, Dr. M.R. Dinesh, and many other interim directors who have contributed to the immense growth of this particular institution. And I indebted to all of them for this, their contribution. Especially Dr. Dinesh, he brought in the transparency to our institution. He has taken a great height. Just by one of the examples is that our national horticulture fairs, last year, we connected to about 16 lakh farmers across the country. 16 ಲಕ್ಷ ರೈತರನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಂಪರ್ಕಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 50,000 ಜನ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ, ಮಿಕ್ಕ 15,500 ಜನ, 55,000 ಜನ ಆನ್ಲೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರು. The greater challenge for horticulture production, what we see is the problem of the planting material. Whatever the varieties that we are released from this institute, we made sure that the good quality planting material is available to the farmers. For that, we have a seed village concept. Last year, we produced about 22 tons of breeder seeds, and we have a revolving fund. From this 9.5 lakh planting material, just grafts and seedlings or rooted cuttings we have developed. And recently, on Sunday, our Chief Minister of Karnataka, in one of the programs, he said we should move towards the farmers. We have to conduct demonstration in the farmers field. For that, I am happy to say that during the last year, 1,600 demonstrations were taken in northeastern region, and another 600 demonstration in Karnataka. We have gone to the farmers field, sir. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಏನೇನು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿಗಳಿದೆ 154 ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ರದರ್ಶನ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. And startup is one of those buzzwords these days. For that, we have 3 models. One is through ABI, another is BIRAC, another is Best Start Institution. Those entrepreneurs, one of the example is successful entrepreneurs today is receiving the award from us. He is also here. During last year, from 100 licenses, we have acquired about 1.9 crores of rupees from just licensing our technologies. This shows the strength of our technologies and the confidence in entrepreneurs to come to IHR and take our technologies. We have another society here, SPH, Society for Promotion of Horticulture. With that agency or with that society, we have about 900 life members. Many of them have joined online today, and I am happy to share that we have a general which is being very regular thanks to our editorial team. We have about 5.08% rating of NARS rating, and with the funds of SPH, we built a lot of infrastructures that we have today in our institute, other than the main buildings which have been funded from ICAR. Here I want to mention that our institute is the first in timely promotion of our staff, very few legal cases. Thanks to our administration and other people who are involved in this one, they have done a great justice to our staff. Very few audit paras, thanks to financial discipline that we have, and also the financial section. Digitalization of various activities, thanks to AKMU team. Forum upkeepment, timely action wherever their inputs were needed, thanks to our FMC team. Timely report preparation, and above all, there will be a lot of parliamentary questions. We have attended to that one, thanks to our PME team for this particular activity. Institute support various Government of India schemes, both as a technology partners and also for giving the inputs for many farmers. We have several NEH programs, SCST program, SP programs that we will witness shortly in our one of the videos that we are going to demonstrate to you. We have a good model for terrace gardening, sir. These days we are looking for growing our own fruits and vegetables. We have a very good model. Our minister, I am inviting him to witness one of the model gardens that we have developed today above our biotechnology institution. I am happy to share with you that here, with the funding from RKVY, we are going to have about 25 such demonstration in Bangalore, and also 25 such demonstration in Mysore in the next year. We are requesting the space from BBMP for this particular activity. I request our minister to intervene in this matter to facilitate us by providing the area, sir. Our institute got twice the Best Institute Award, once in 1999, another in 2011 for the very good activities. As I told you that we are not lagging behind in supplying the quality seed and planting material. We boast for a seed portal where the farmers can get the seed material to his doorstep by applying online. And this particular portal is also empowered to capture the details of the farmers from where he is logging, which area is going to use this crop, so that we can follow it up further. Another activity that we started is Arka Samachar. It is a monthly e-bulletin that we are broadcasting through YouTube. Another platform which is yet to take off is Arka Vyapar. We are trying to bring the farmers and also the consumers on the same platform for their exchange. Many of our seniors who have served this great institution are spending a joyful time with their family. I will not want to use the word retired, but they are superannuated. And those people also, today they have joined. My greetings to all of them on this particular Foundation Day. There were some requirements from those people. They wanted a sitting space for them when they visit the institution. I will assure you that for those people, we are going to find the place shortly in one of the buildings here, so that whenever they come, they will be comfortable in our institute. Since this particular year is the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, we are going to celebrate that one with the Karnataka State Technology Academy during the mid of November, one conference of fruit and vegetables for nutrition. And I request all of you to join that conference. We are also planning one of the international conference, maybe at the juncture of February, March. Let us see how it can go after our NHF that we are going to have for 2022, that time. With these few remarks, I again wish you all a great Foundation Day. Thank you for joining us in this celebration. And finally, I wish that the mask that we are wearing will go off so that we can see the smiles on the faces of our farmers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your welcome address and briefing about IIHR activities. Thank you a lot. As we all know, the NHF 2021 had been a great success, and we have two documentaries, namely ICAR-IIHR Vista video and NHF video film, to our credit. It gives the overall glimpse of ICAR-IIHR activities. Let's have the video, please.
For reorienting and refining the approaches of developing eco-friendly, sustainable, and widely adaptable technologies. It conducts basic, strategic, and applied research to enhance sustainable productivity, quality, and utilization of horticultural crops. With one regional station located at Bhubaneswar in Odisha, the Institute has 154 scientists working on 54 horticultural crops. The Institute has state-of-the-art laboratories, fields, and polyhouses for protected cultivation and has an active repository for horticultural germplasm with more than 10,000 genotypes conserved. It has plant diagnostics, soil science and food safety referral laboratories that hosts various advanced equipment for analysis in crops. In its 5 decades of research, the Institute has developed over 301 varieties and hybrids which are high-yielding and disease-resistant, and also developed 136 technologies. Arka is the trade name of the varieties and technologies developed by ICAR-IIHR, and several of these high-yielding varieties and hybrids in fruits, vegetables, ornamental and medicinal crops have been developed by the Institute. guava variety, Arka Kiran. India's first triple disease-resistant tomato, Arka Rakshak. Processing variety, Arka Vishesh. Chili hybrid, Arka Meghna. The male sterile marigold, Arka Bangara. The tuberose, Arka Prajwal. Rose varieties, Arka Parimala and Arka Sinchana. Mucuna variety, Arka Shubhra, to name a few. IIHR has also standardized the cultivation practice for newly introduced fruit varieties for avocado, dragon fruit and rambutan, and organic cultivation practices for 12 vegetables and protected cultivation practices. Some of the technologies developed by IIHR are Arka Microbial Consortium, AMC, a carrier liquid-based product that helps increase yield. Fruit fly traps that help in bringing down the fruit fly infestation. Biopesticides, value addition and post-harvest technologies, osmotically dehydrated dry fruits and vegetables, ready-to-drink preservative-free jackfruit juice, jackfruit chocolate wrap, jackfruit cookies, probiotic fruit juices, solar-powered vegetable vending vans, mushroom spawn production equipment, and a herbal product to remove pesticide residue, Arka Herbiwash. The Institute has successfully linked biodiversity with livelihood security by identifying two farmers, Sri Parmesha and Sri Shankara, and made them custodians of the genetic diversity in jackfruit, which helped the farmers increase their income by almost tenfolds. The incubation of technologies is carried through Best Hort and sale of products through the Agriculture Technology Information Center, ATIC. The Institute offers postgraduate courses and has MOUs with more than 50 institutions. To popularize the developed varieties and technologies, more than 1,000 demonstrations in different regions with the help of KVKs have been conducted. Since 2017, national horticultural fairs are being organized annually to transfer the technologies and new varieties to the farmers. A seed portal app which is linked with SBI YONO, through which farmers can get the seeds at their doorstep, and another app, Arka Bhagwani, has been developed. The Institute's technologies have been picked up by 400 licensees on non-exclusive basis, and the 12 technologies developed by the Institute contributes 30,000 crore rupees annually to the economy. With numerous inventions and recognitions, today IIHR has emerged as one of the premier institutes in horticulture.
Shri N. Muniratna to please address us on this occasion of Foundation Day celebration. Please, sir.
IIHR ಮತ್ತು ICAR 55ನೇ ವರ್ಷದ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಮಾಡಿದಂಥ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಉಪಯೋಗ ಆಗೋಂಥ ಹಲವಾರು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ IIHR ಮತ್ತು ICAR ಅವರು ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಭಾಳ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಇವತ್ತು ರೈತ ಉಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ರೈತ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ತೋಟಗಾರಿಕೆ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ಸಚಿವನಾಗಿದ್ದು ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷನೂ ತರುತ್ತೆ. ಇರಪ್ಪ ಈ ಕಡೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಹಲೋ, ಇವತ್ತು ರೈತರು ಬಹುಶಃ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೇ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಯಾವ ರಾಜ್ಯನೇ ಆಗಿರಲಿ, ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಶ್ರಮದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಆ ರೈತನಿಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಆಗೋಂಥ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ಆಯಾ ಇಲಾಖೆಗಳು, ಆಯಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ರೈತನ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ರೈತನ ಹೆಸರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಖಾಸಗಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಇಲಾಖೆಗೆ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಗಮನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದೆ. ರೈತ ದುಡಿಯೋಂಥ ದುಡಿಮೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡೋಂಥವ್ರು ಭಾಳ ಜನ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ಕೆಲವು ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳಿದೆ, ಆದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಡ. ರೈತ ಬೆಳೆದು ಬಂದ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ 25% ಲಾಭ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದೊಂದು ನನ್ನ ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ, ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ನನಗೆ. ಮತ್ತು ರೈತ ಬಿಸಿಲು, ಮಳೆ, ಚಳಿ, ಗಾಳಿ ನೋಡದೆ ಅವನು ದುಡ್ದಂಥ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳು, ಬೆಳೆದಂಥ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಖಾಸಗಿ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರೆ ರೈತ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ನಾವುಗಳು ಯಾರೇ ಆಗಿರಲಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಗ್ರಾಹಕನಿಗೆ ರೈತ ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡೋಂಥ ಪದ್ಧತಿನ ಕಾಯ್ದೆ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದು ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ಗುರಿ. ನೀವು ರೈತರು ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗೋಂಥದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಲೂ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಳ ಕಠಿಣವಾದ ಕೆಲವು ಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ತಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾವಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇವತ್ತೇನು ICAR ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯವರು ಹಲವಾರು ತಳಿಗಳನ್ನ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಪಡಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಪಡಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ತಳಿಗಳು ನಮ್ಮ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಲಾಭದಾಯಕ ಆಗೋವಂಥದ್ದು ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳನ್ನ, ತಳಿಗಳನ್ನ ತಾವು ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ತಮಗೆ ನಾನು ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ನಿರಂತರ ನಡೀತಾನೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡೋವಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶೀಯ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಇದು ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಥ ದೇಶೀಯ ಒಂದು ತಳಿಗಳನ್ನ ನಶಿಸೋದಂಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಮಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳ ಸತ್ವವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕಳ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. ಅದನ್ನು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡೋಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ತಾವು ಗಮನಿಸಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶೀಯ ತಳಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಸ್ಪರ್ಧಿಗಳಾಗಿ ವಿದೇಶದಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹಲವಾರು ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದೆ, ಹಲವಾರು ಹಣ್ಣುಗಳೇ ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಮಾರುಕಟ್ಟೆಗೆ ಹೋದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಆಕರ್ಷಣೆಗೆ ಒಳಗಾಗ್ತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ವಿದೇಶಿಯ ಒಂದು ಹಣ್ಣುಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಮುಂದುವರೆದರೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ರೈತರು ಬೆಳೆದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಹಣ್ಣುಗಳನ್ನ ಖರೀದಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಗ್ರಾಹಕರು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರುವಂಥ ದಿನಗಳು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ತಮ್ಮ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದು ಒಂದು ಕಿವಿ ಮಾತು, ಏನಿವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದೊಳಗೆ ವಿದೇಶದಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾಯಿದೆ ತಳಿಗಳು, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಗುಣಮಟ್ಟ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ರುಚಿಕರವಾದಂಥದ್ದು, ಆರೋಗ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಂಥ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲೇ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಾವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಸ್ಪರ್ಧಿಗಳಿಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಬಹುದಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ಹಣ್ಣಿನ ಅಂಗಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಣೋಂಥದ್ದು ವಿದೇಶಿ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ, ವಿದೇಶಿ ಹಣ್ಣುಗಳು. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಗಮನ ಕೊಡಿ. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ IIHRಗೆ ನಾನು ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷವಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಜೀವನ ರೈತರನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಿ, ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸೇರಿಸಿ. ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾನು ಈ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ IIHRಗೆ ಬಂದು ಸುಮಾರು ಒಂದು 38-40 ವರ್ಷಗಳಾಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ಬಹುಶಃ ನನ್ನ ವಯಸ್ಸು 20-22 ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಇವತ್ತೇ ನಾನು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ದೈವ ಕೃಪೆ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೋ, ದೇವರು ಯಾರ ಹಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರೆದಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತು ಮಾತಾಡೋಂಥ ಭಾಗ್ಯ ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ. ಸುಮಾರು ನನ್ನ 20-22ನೇ ವಯಸ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಆಕಸ್ಮಿಕ ನಾನೇ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಈ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂಥ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಕಚೇರಿ ಸದಾಶಿವನಗರದಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು. ಸದಾಶಿವನಗರ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ವರ್ಗಾವಣೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಸದಾಶಿವನಗರದಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ IIHR ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಪೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಟೆಂಡರ್ನ ಕರೆದಿದ್ರು. ಬಹುಶಃ 85-86 ಏನೋ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಈ IIHR ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಪೇಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ರಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೆ. ಈ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಕಾಲಿಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಬಹುಶಃ 38-40 ವರ್ಷ ಆದಮೇಲೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಜೀವನ ಯಾರನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ರಿ. ಒಂದಂತೂ ಖಂಡಿತ, ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಶ್ರಮ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆ ಭಗವಂತ ಯಾರನ್ನೂ ಕೈ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಅನುಭವ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾರು ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರಮ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಕ್ಕ ಫಲ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾರೇ ಆಗಲಿ, ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ದುಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರಮ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಅದರ ಫಲ ಸಿಕ್ಕೇ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನೀವುಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಬಯಸ್ರಿ. ರೈತರು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಬಯಸಲಿ. ರೈತರನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಕುಂಡ್ರಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಭಾಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ರೈತರನ್ನ ಗೌರವಿಸಿ, ರೈತ ಲಾಭದಾಯಕವಾಗಿ ಅವನ ಕುಟುಂಬ ನಗನಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಿ. ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಮಾಡ್ತಂತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಜೈ ಹಿಂದ್, ಜೈ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ.
ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಶ್ರೀ ಮುನಿರತ್ನರವರು ರಾಜರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಿಂದ ಸತತವಾಗಿ 2013ರಿಂದ ಆಯ್ಕೆಯಾಗಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮತ್ತು ರಾಜರಾಜೇಶ್ವರಿ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದ ಒಂದು ಜನಪ್ರಿಯ ನಾಯಕರಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಾನು ಅದೇ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಹಲವಾರು ಜನಪ್ರಿಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಖುದ್ದಾಗಿ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿಸಿರೋದು ನಾನು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಕೋವಿಡ್-19 ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ತುಂಬ ಬಡಬಗರಿಗೆ ಕಾಳಜಿಯಿಂದ ಆಹಾರ ವಿತರಣೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಹಾರ ಕಿಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿತರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಈ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಂದರೆ ತೋಟಗಾರಿಕಾ ಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಸುಮಾರು 22 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ನಂತರ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ, ಅದು ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪನಾ ದಿವಸದ ಅವಸರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ವೇದಿಕೆಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಸಂಶೋಧಕರಿಗೆ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಕಿವಿ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್, ಇದು ನಮಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಗೌರವವಾದ ಮತ್ತು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ವಿಷಯ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ತಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್. ಹಾಗೆ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾದ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ BNS ಮೂರ್ತಿಯವರಿಗೆ, ಶ್ರೀ ಮುನಿರತ್ನರವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಕಿರು ಕಾಣಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸಿ ಸನ್ಮಾನಿಸಬೇಕಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಶ್ರೀಯುತರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಮಾವಿನ ಹಣ್ಣಿನ ತಳಿಯಾದ ಅರ್ಕ ಸುಪ್ರಭಾತ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಕಮಲಂ ಹಣ್ಣು, ಬಟರ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ ಹಣ್ಣು ಮತ್ತು ಕುಮ್ಟಾ ಆರೆಂಜನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕುಮ್ಕ್ವಾಟ್ ಆರೆಂಜ್. ದಿಂದಾಗಿ ಶ್ರೀಮಾನ್ಯ ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಈಗ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಿಂದ ಹೊರಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಮಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ಇವರನ್ನು ಬೀಳ್ಕೊಡೋಣ. ಅಶೋಕ್ ದಳ್ವಾಯ್. I'm extremely honored to introduce our today's chief guest, our eminent speaker, to our audience. He is a renowned bureaucrat, an ardent reader, agricultural and social reformer, and an encyclopedia of knowledge. It is such an honor for me to introduce him to our audience today. So Dr. Dalwai is a student of University of Agriculture Science at Dharwad with post-graduation in agriculture economics and PhD in economics. Dr. Dalwai is a member of Indian Administrative Service 1984 and has served the state of Odisha and Karnataka and has been with Government of India since 2010. He is presently serving as CEO of National Rainfed Area Authority in the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare in the rank of Secretary of Government of India. Apart from holding several positions in his career at the field and policy formulation levels, Dr. Dalwai has contributed immensely to effecting the several reforms. Some of the important ones include an integrated 10-year plan that is from 1992 to 93 to 2001 to 2002, perspective plan for land and water management, Kalhandi district of Orissa, contributions to the first agriculture policy of Odisha state in 1997, first textile policy of Karnataka state in 2003, self-assessment scheme for assessment of property tax for the city of Bangalore, model agriculture produce and livestock marketing, model contract farming and services Promotion and Facilitation Act 2018, guidelines for Gramin rural agricultural markets, and as a chairman of Interministerial Committee on Doubling Farmers' Income, DFI, his 14-volume report is recognized as one of the most comprehensive and evidence-based strategies. Dr. Dalwai has now been tasked to supervise DFI implementation as chairman and empowered body. So in recognition of his services, Dr. Dalwai has won very prestigious award, including conferment of honorary doctorate by his alma mater, the University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad, Karnataka. So with this brief introduction, may I now request our chief guest of today's function, Dr. Ashok Dalwai, to deliver his Foundation Day lecture, which is very interesting and most pertinent on this time, that is the role of horticulture in Indian economy. Over to you, Dr. Dalwai, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister for Horticulture, Government of Karnataka, Shri Muniratna, the Director of the Institute and dear friend, Dr. B.N.S. Murthy, all the former directors of the prestigious Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, Bangalore, all the scientists, technical officers, and other staff of the institute, the family members of all the members of ICAR-IIHR, friends from media, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen, and above all, the children who may have joined. Once again, good afternoon to all of you. I would first like to thank Dr. Srinivas Murthy for inviting me to be with you this afternoon. The former director, Dr. Dinesh, had been inviting me several times. For some reason, it had not materialized. I take this opportunity to also thank Dr. Dinesh. Both of them are very well known to me and have been very active members in formulating various policies of our ministry. In fact, both of them contributed to writing extensively on the horticulture aspect of the strategy for doubling farmers' income. I'm grateful to them. I'm grateful to the IIHR itself. We borrowed extensively from your research findings as we drafted the horticulture component of the DFI strategy. Now let me congratulate the Indian Institute of Horticulture Research for 55 long years of yeoman service "55 years is a long journey, and the contributions to the fair name of the Institute today is an account of various former directors. Dr. Randhava, Dr. K.L. Chadda, they stand out as those who gave a paradigm shift to horticulture sector in the country. I would also like to recall Dr. H.B. Singh, the former DDG in the ICAR in charge of horticulture, who also has made very substantive contributions to horticulture. And the present Deputy Director General, another friend of mine, Dr. A.K. Singh, is equally committed to transforming the agriculture sector through the horticultural pathway. All this is possible only because each one of you and all your illustrious predecessors have worked with dedication and devotion. On this Foundation Day, as I wish you many, many happy returns of the day, I must share with you that however intelligent, however capable, however committed an individual may be, yet the progress will happen only when everybody works together. It is a cooperative spirit that can move mountains and make impossible things possible. It is very well said that collective intelligence is more powerful than individual intelligence. So the cumulative intelligence of all of you together will be making transformative changes in the domain of horticulture of our country. As Dr. Srinivas was saying, I personally believe, as much as the government believes, that horticulture, along with the dairy and animal husbandry sector, as also the fishery sector, constitute the engine of growth of agriculture sector. It is these three which are now going to pull the agriculture growth of our country. It is these three which are going to transfer nutrition to the millions and millions of our population. It is these three segments which are going to contribute to the incomes of our farmers. It is these three which are going to help us in adaptation and mitigation measures arising from the climate change and the consequences. So horticulture sector, which is both seasonal in nature as well as perennial in nature, is a unique segment. And when we talk about horticulture, it is not just fruits and vegetables, There are also other aspects of horticulture that include plantations, that include floriculture, aromatics, herbal and medicinal plants. And of course, mushroom is always there, which is one of your core activity. So it is a wide canvas. And I would say that there is so much more to do in the domain of research, in the domain of extension, in the domain of management practices, that next 50 years would not be sufficient to harvest the full potential of horticulture. Let us take the simplest example of productivity. If we compare the crop segment, the agronomic crops with horticulture, there is a humongous difference between the two in terms of average per hectare productivity. While we may be able to achieve an average of 2 tons per hectare in case of agronomic crops, the minimum that we can attain in horticulture is an average of 19 tons per hectare. That is only to substantiate that we will be able to create mountains of the food produce if we just focus on horticulture. Today, as we are all aware, that India has completed 74 years of independence, and we are going to celebrate the 75th year of independence. And it was in 2016 when our Honorable Prime Minister shared his vision with the people of the country that agriculture has grown well in the country, but the farmers have not benefited to the same proportion. It is an irony that while the farmers of this country, supported by the scientists, agricultural scientists, security of food to our nation, the nation has failed to offer income security to the farmers. Income security is very important because this is what will determine the welfare of the farming community. We are not anymore interested in subsistence economy. The period of subsistence economy is long past. We are now interested to fulfill the dreams and aspirations of our constitution. Our constitution promises everybody a quality life, a life of dignity. And ethics says that we must ensure human dignity. How do we make this possible? The first requirement, of course, is adequacy of incomes. And therefore, when Honorable Prime Minister talked about doubling farmers' income, as India celebrates her 75th year of independence in 2022, the minimum we should have achieved is doubling the income of the farmers vis-a-vis what existed in 2015-16. And we, in the doubling farmers' income committee strategy, have very clearly talked about diversification of agriculture. Diversification not just from the perspective of risk management, but also from the perspective of income growth. And we are confident that if we are able to diversify a part of the land that is there under the agronomic crops into horticulture and other aspects of agriculture sector, we will be able to make a paradigm shift in the average incomes of these farmers. To just give you an example, today when we compare the volume of production and the value of the production thereof, we find almost there's an inverse relationship. The pyramids will look inverse. For example, while we have 24% of our net cultivated area under just 3 staple crops of wheat, paddy and maize, their value in terms of agricultural GVA just 10%. Whereas with just 15% of the cultivated area under horticulture, the value in terms of agriculture GVA is a high of 24%. So this just illustrates that today, if we want incomes for our farmers, we have to focus on high value agriculture. And that high value agriculture comes from fruits and vegetables, and of course other components of horticulture. They are high value for various reasons. A value is determined in terms of what does it do to the people, what does it do to the ecology, what does it do to the society. And of course the value also depends upon the supply and demand position. Irrespective of the demand and supply position, horticulture is still considered a high value because from the nutritive perspective, it has high contents of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants. And today our farmers, not just our farmers, but our consumers as a whole are in need of nutrition. The latest health survey shows that India's nutritive status is subpar. It is another unfortunate thing that notwithstanding the mountains of cereals that we produce in our country, notwithstanding the high adequacy of carbohydrates in our country, the people still continue to suffer from stunted growth. They continue to suffer from various kinds of malnutrition, undernutrition, kwashiorkor, and other kinds of anemic diseases. We therefore are no more interested in just carbohydrate security, which is generally called as food security. We are interested in nutrition security. And when we talk of nutrition security, we must ensure that the farmers and the consumers at large get both macronutrients and micronutrients. So horticulture has that of producing both macro and micronutrients, and particularly the micronutrients. So if we want to give good health to our people, harvest the demographic dividend that India is proud of today, we must then therefore give them proper nutrition. And horticulture has that potential. Horticulture has been growing just from 18.7 million hectares in 2005-06. It has grown to 28 million hectares by now. The growth rate in terms of area is around 34%. But in terms of productivity and production, the growth rate is as high as 55%. And that, once again, substantiate what I told you, is an account of the innate genetic potential for high productivity in case of horticulture. And if we are able to shift just 1% of the area, net area, under the staple crops to horticulture, we will be adding rupees 77,000 per hectare at 2015-16 prices. That means if we are able to convert just 1% under the staple crops into horticulture, the net wealth that will create for our country every year is rupees 2,000 crores. So that is the immense potential that horticulture has got. So this is one way of creating jobs, one way of creating incomes, but there is another better way of creating greater value from horticulture and greater number of jobs. Because today India is interested in creating gainful jobs. We are aware that 48% of our population depends on agriculture, directly and indirectly, for jobs. Unfortunately, all these jobs are not gainful jobs. They are described mostly as underemployment or disguised unemployment. That means where one person is required, we have got two people working. That is a waste of human resources. What therefore we want today is to generate gainful employment in agriculture. And that gainful employment once again will come from horticulture, because compared to the crop segment, the intensity of labor in horticulture is very high. It can generate 1800 man days compared to around 200 to 300 man days in a crop segment. And there are certain aspects of horticulture like plantations where it's much more intense. Seed production is much more intensive. Now, apart from the job creation potential in the primary horticulture, the secondary horticulture, which is a component of the secondary agriculture, has much more potential to generate jobs. And secondary agriculture, which includes horticulture, means ability to primary process the primary raw produce, secondary process the primary raw produce, and further go up the value chain by subjecting that raw produce into tertiary processing. Primary processing, as you know, cleaning, grading, sorting, etc., are waxing. But then when we enter the domain of physico-chemical transformation, the secondary processing, or move further up to create greater value through this tertiary processing, this processing offers us immense opportunity of creating jobs and incomes. The evidence from Western society shows us that if we can process, we add 3 times the value to the agriculture produced generated on the farms. So the value that we calculate today in agriculture, including horticulture, can become 3 times. And along with that value, we also create that many number of jobs. Let us illustrate this by the extent of processing that happens in India today. India is still not known for processing. Our food processing stands at around 9% of the total produce. Non-food processing is almost nil. It just made some small beginning. But within the small 9% of food processing segment, we have generated millions of jobs within the organized and the unorganized sector. Within the organized sector, we have got 1.74 million, but there are 3 times this generated in the unorganized sector, which only means that if we can push up our processing from 9% to 20 to 30%, we'll be creating jobs 3 times what we are creating today. And if we go for non-food processing, we'll be adding further to the quantum of job opportunities. So horticulture is something that is most amenable to processing. The reason being that it is a perishable commodity. Being perishable, it is also vulnerable to decomposition. And today, while 20% of our agriculture produced in our country is decomposed and wasted, the percentage of decomposition obviously is very high in horticulture compared to the grain sector because of its perishable nature. So, not only is it a necessity, but also it is advantageous for us to go in for processing. But before I speak about processing, I would like to emphasize that we do not want people to go for processed food as long as they can get fresh food. Our responsibility should therefore be to reach out of the raw produce from the farm gates to the consumption centers in a quality, uncompromised manner. Because we want people to eat or consume nutrients that are contained in the fruits and vegetables and other kinds of horticulture produce. And that entails to put up strong agri-logistics. Agri-logistics that connects the farm gates with the consumption centers. A consumption center can be a household. It can be a processing plant. It can be export house. It can be a market within India or outside India. But we need the vehicle of agri-logistics. We need pack houses, ripening chambers, cold storages, reefer vans, and so on and so forth. And of course, seamless opportunity for transportation between land, air, and water. When we are having this kind of wholesome ecosystem-based agri-logistics in our country, horticulture will automatically get incentivized for further growth. I'm not talking about the good research and technology that you will give us, which will push up and pull the productivity. We are talking about what you already have achieved in the last 55 years. If we are able to even harvest that particular productivity potential, then we would have done great for our farmers, for our consumers, for our country. Because decomposition, releasing greenhouse gases, is a curse. We are not investing our labor and inputs and management practices, science, technology into the farms to produce something, to waste it as a decomposition. If we take, for example, decomposition and the greenhouse gases that emanate from it, as a country in the world, it stands third after USA and China. That is the quantum of carbon dioxide equivalent that decomposed waste of agriculture produce is generating on this earth. If only we are able to stop that, check that wastage of agriculture produce through good agri-logistics, through good roads and communication, we will be not only checking the climate change to some extent, but also transferring the nutrition to our people. So my request to you is that today what we need is greater focus on the post-harvest management. Along with the focus on productivity, yes, along with productivity, of course, most important is to see how the shelf life of this agriculture, horticulture produce is elongated, so that we as farmers, as processors, we get more time to deal with this perishable nature of produce. And therefore, the consumers are also able to consume fresh. But along with that, the greatest attention today, according to me, is on post-harvest management. What kind of technology can you actually generate, combining the strength of biotechnology, bioprocessing, bioengineering? If we are able to combine these three, along with information technology that is available with us today, we will be able to save a lot of the horticulture produce and transfer it to our society. Transfer it as incomes for the farmers, as nutrition for the consumers, and as sustainable approach to our ecology. So I would say that there's so much that we need to do today. In this particular context, I would like to highlight that as scientists, as technologists, as policy makers concerned with science and technology, we must be now focusing on what is called science for delivery, not science for the sake of science. Yes, IIHR, its mandate is to focus on both basic and applied science and technology. How do we actually optimize your focus on basic science and applied science? Applied science is something which is more core, according to me, for our agricultural scientists. The basic science principles that can be drawn from the other traditional universities, other research centers, need to be innovatively applied to deliver what we want today. And I must say that deliverables today are nothing but nutrition for the consumers, incomes for the farmers, and sustainable technology for the ecology. These are the three basic or the principal stakeholders of our system. Now, horticulture as such has made great progress. We have only seen in the last 5 years what kind of jump horticulture production has been showing. For the first time in 2013-14, the output of horticulture at 264 million tons equaled that of the food grains of cereals and the pulses together. And thereafter, there has been no looking back for horticulture. We have been jumping year after year, leaving behind the food grain sector. And today, while food grains stands at 305 million tons in 2019-20, horticulture stood at 325 million tons. Of this, we have got 100 million tons of fruits and 200 million tons of vegetables. And of course, the rest come and the rest account for the rest. However, within the vegetable segment, there is still greater focus on three components: potato, onion, and tomato. They are our principal components. But I think what we need when we talk of nutrition is other kinds of vegetables. Our women are suffering from anemia. Our children are suffering from stunted growth, wasted growth. Can we have more of those minerals and vitamins? For example, leafy vegetables, which will transfer a lot of iron content to the women folk, who are in need of it. I'm only just giving an example. You need to start now looking at not just in terms of volume of production, but the generation of nutrition. In fact, I would request our DDG here also that not just about horticulture, the entire agriculture segment today, we now need to start calculating what is the total nutrition requirement of our population. Today at 131 crore and to be 150 crore soon, what would be the requirement in terms of macronutrients, in terms of micronutrients, and which would be the best crops that will give me maximum of these nutrients, and I will start focusing on those things. So I think there's a different way of looking today, because we want our people to be healthy. We want our people to live a best life and contribute to the societal transformation. So the science and technology today has to reorient itself, according to me, a simple mind switch as to how do we make these things happen, and not just look at it in terms of productivity. And of course, along with the productivity, what we need to look today, because of the climate change context, is the agroecology based principles. We're aware that while agroecologically it is necessary to grow a particular kind of a crop, unfortunately farmers don't do that because they don't get the same income from that as they would get from another crop which may not be agroecologically sound. So that is a matter of policy, where we need to change our pricing policy, for example, or the subsidy policy, so that we incentivize those agroecologically synchronous crops better than what we are doing for other crops. In this particular context, the purpose of my telling this is to draw your attention to the dryland horticulture. India, as you know, is a vast country with 141 million hectares, and it is under 121 agroecological subregions. We have got from the temperate to the arid zone. So India that way is a blessed country because it can grow all kinds of flora that is possible in this world. However, we have in a way, bypassed our rain-fed agriculture systems. If we are talking about agriculture growth, if you are talking of income growth, we are also talking of equality, egalitarianism. We just don't want a section of the farmers to benefit and a larger section of the farmers not to benefit. Today, if you compare the rain-fed system to the irrigated systems, the difference in average yield is 2 tons per hectare. Well, the average is 3.1 ton. In case of irrigated systems, it is 1.1 ton in rain-fed systems. So how do we now upgrade the technology and the management practices under the rain-fed systems? Given the water scarcity, given the fragility of the soils, and given the high infiltration rate, the shallow nature of the soils under rain-fed systems, and loss of organic carbon over the last few decades, we need to go more for dryland horticulture within the rain-fed area systems. So my pleading to you today is, can we first develop a horticulture policy of India, and then also develop as a sub-policy a dryland horticulture policy for our country? Because 52% of our country is under dryland or rain-fed, let's call it a rain-fed agriculture system. So India is mostly home to tropical and subtropical horticulture species. And IIHR is primarily mandated to study research on tropical and subtropical crops. So, given the water scarcity, given the need for higher productivity, given the need for higher incomes and sustainability of farming under the rain-fed agriculture, I think IIHR can play a very crucial role in developing a dryland horticulture policy for the rainfed systems of our country, along with, of course, a larger horticulture policy. We have an agriculture policy, but we now need a dedicated horticulture policy. That is my personal and unflinching belief that we need to do that thing today. So how do we start looking at identifying the species? There already is very traditional species that India is home to, whether it is sitafal or ramfal or bird or jamun, all these kind of species, tamarind, all these things are home. I mean, India is home to. These are our principal crops. So now how do we take up research on these aspects and strengthen those things to be grown more robustly under the dryland horticulture? So I think, friends, we have a great future in the horticulture domain. And India has realized that. And it's only because of this that under the Atmanirbhar Bharat, there is greater focus on post-harvest management under the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. While that AIF is meant for all kinds of agriculture sectors, both agronomic and horticulture crops, but obviously horticulture will need more and will use it more. Whether it is the micro food processing, to upgrade the technology to the Ministry of Food Processing Industries at rupees 10,000 crore is mostly going to be used once again for processing in the industry relating to horticulture. So you will find that every single thing, there is so much of scope that you have, and I would suggest that we can all look at taking forward horticulture from various aspects, including, as I said, that it can help in carbon sequestration. Today, the carbon is there in the air but not in the soil. If we are able to actually grow a lot of perennial trees, including horticulture species, then we'll be able to sequester that excess carbon dioxide that is there in the air, in the atmosphere, and put it back into the soil where it is actually required. So I will not take further time. There's certainly a lot to speak about horticulture, but I can say only that the Government of India, under the Ministry of Agriculture, inclusive of the Indian Agriculture Research Institute, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, ICAR, which is our primary engine, and the Department of Agriculture, which is meant for extension, we are working together, redesigning the policies, reorienting everything, to ensure that we are able to take horticulture on this progressive step forward. The last point that I would like to tell you is, since we are small and marginal farmers, since our production is small in nature, the produce is disaggregated. So if we want that to be connected with the market, it is very important for us that we create aggregation points. So through the Grameen agriculture markets, our aim is to create the aggregation pools where we have all facilities, including cold stores of appropriate size, and then the farmers are able to aggregate their produce, supported of course by the farmer producer organizations, and then thereafter integrate to the agriculture value chain, either through the APMCs or on the direct trade platform. So what we are seeing today is that policy reform supported by infrastructure and supported by the changes in the extension methodology, all these things will actually be a good game to make this horticulture a good game. So I will stop here. I once again like to thank the institute headed by Dr. Srinivas, and I would like to thank our DDG, Dr. Anil Kumar Singh, and all the scientists. I will be certainly there at IIHR and like to spend time with you and learn all that you people are doing, because I think knowledge is a continuum. We need to continuously learn from others and from the institute. And I look forward to learning from IIHR. So thank you very much. And once again, I pay my respects to all the former directors of IIHR, all the former DDGs of horticulture in the ICAR. You've done so much. I mean, it's very easy to talk of horticulture now. 10 years back, 15 years back, 20 years back, when people did not bother for horticulture, they were lone voices. Though we had the first National Horticulture Board in 1984, and then it was restructured as a National Horticulture Mission and Himnesh to finally become the MIDH in 2015, it has been a long and steady progress. And all of this has been possible only because you people have been able to convince the government that this is the future of our country. So thank you very much, and I wish you the very best and wish all the families Godspeed, good health, and please take care during the time of Corona, which is still hanging around. So namaskar and Jai Hind. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, before the other people start, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really, it was a great, inspiring lecture for many of us. In fact, I have heard you several times, and I have spent with you in the ministry for four years. And it is really one of those eye-openers for many of us who are working in the field of horticulture. Thank you for that presentation, sir. It was a great honor for us to having invited you on this platform. And I look forward to you for your physical presence at the earliest, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this exhaustive words of wisdom on the topic role of horticulture in Indian economy. Every year, ICAR-IIHR comes out with release of many important and farmers-friendly varieties, technologies, and their publications. On this eve of Foundation Day, I request our chief guest and other dignitaries of today's function to kindly release a few of these varieties and publications. Firstly, a cucumber variety named Arka Veera has been given for release by Dr. Pichai Muthu from the Division of Vegetable Crops. This variety resembles braveness or courage. It is an open-pollinated variety having high yield of 28 tons per hectare. It is an early flowering type where the fruits can be harvested within 47 days after sowing. Also, it has the tolerance to downy mildew. I request our director, sir, and other dignitaries to join hands in releasing this variety of cucumber. Next is the release of documentaries on ICAR-IIHR technologies in Kannada language. The documentaries on ICAR-IIHR technologies, by covering views of scientists, tidbits of cultivation practices, and success stories, etc. These documentaries are produced under the RKVY project with the financial assistance from Commissionerate of Agriculture, Government of Karnataka. The project leader, Dr. B. Narayan Swamy, has been heading in production of these documentaries on ICAR-IIHR technologies. The next publication is a technical bulletin on Kamalam fruit in India, that is dragon fruit. It is in Kannada, Bharatadalli Kamala Hannu. It is published by BNS Murthy sir, director ICAR-IIHR Bengaluru, edited by Dr. B. Narayan Swamy, Dr. G. Karunakaran, and Dr. Himanshu Patak, director. Some of the other publications are to be released online. So one another publication is an e-book on pineapple germplasm, its characterization and evaluation. The e-book consists of all the information on the different germplasm that is available in pineapple in India. This e-book is published by Kundan Kishore and Dr. Kundan Kishore and his team from Chess Bhubaneswar, which is the regional station of ICAR-IIHR. The next is the release of e-book on commercial seed production of important vegetable crops in Odia language to cater the need of the Odisha state. IIHR has many regional stations which is working on bringing up such publications in different regional languages so that the farmer is benefited by adopting the technologies thus published in his own language. So this is for release. Next is the ICAR-IIHR has come up with another publication, an e-technical bulletin on good agriculture practices for commercially important flower crops, published by Dr. Sujata and her team. The good agricultural practices for 10 major commercial flower crops cultivated under open and protective cultivation has been documented. It also takes into consideration the welfare and safety of persons working on the farm. This is for release. The next is the e-book on Arka flower varieties and production technology by Dr. Tejaswini and her team. The e-book consists of new flower varieties and the information on good quality production practices. So this is also for the release, please. Next is the e-compendium on advances in horticultural technologies, compiled and edited by Dr. V. Sankar and his team. It contains information about varieties and hybrids of IIHR, recent production technologies, IPM in horticultural crops, post-harvest management, mobile application, and marketing aspects. This document is designed to educate horticulture workers, students, research scholars, and academicians related to horticulture. This is also for the release. Mushroom millet cookies technology release. Here, in this technology, the nutrition of mushroom is blended with that of millets. This technology will help in terms of producing a novel product not yet available in the Indian market, and will take care of the losses due to overproduction of oyster mushrooms, which have short shelf life, and provide an alternative nutritious way to blend both millets and mushrooms in that. Hence, this technology will be of immense importance to enhance nutrition and in income enhancement. This is also for the release. I thank all the dignitaries for doing the kind gesture of releasing the varieties and publications for us. Now, I request Dr. B.N.S. Moti sir to kindly felicitate the progressive farmers and entrepreneurs who have adopted the ICAR-IIHR technologies. I request Dr. Smita ma'am to kindly introduce them.
Our innovative farmers and entrepreneurs who are the backbone of our Indian agriculture and economy with the Best Farmer Award. So they are not only adopted our IIHR varieties and technologies and earning a good income, but they're also supporting others. They're also dissemination the technologies to other fellow farmers and also help them to grow. So in today's function, we are felicitating those farmers. We are selected the farmers zone wise, and from the south zone, first our farmer is Mr. Krishna Nayak. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನಾಯಕ್ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಸ್ಥಿತರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರು ವಾಸನಪ್ಪನದೊಡ್ಡಿ ಹಳ್ಳಿ, ಕನಕಪುರ ತಾಲೂಕು, ರಾಮನಗರ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಮಿಶ್ರ ಕೃಷಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಬೆಳೆಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ತೋಟಗಾರಿಕಾ ಬೆಳೆ, ಹೈನುಗಾರಿಕೆಯನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ತರಕಾರಿ ಬೆಳೆಗಳಾದ ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಕ ರಕ್ಷಕ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅರ್ಕ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಟ್ ತಳಿ, ಮೆಣಸಿನಕಾಯಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಕ ಮೇಘನ ಮತ್ತು ಅರ್ಕ ಹರಿತ, ಫ್ರೆಂಚ್ ಬೀನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಕ ಶರತ್ ತಳಿಗಳನ್ನು ಅಳವಡಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಬಹಳ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ಇಳುವರಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರು ನಮ್ಮ ICAR-ನ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಟೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊ ಸಂಕರಣ ತಳಿಗಳನ್ನು ಅಳವಡಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಸುಮಾರು 45 ಟನ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ಎಕರೆಗೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ತುಂಬ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ತುಂಬ ಅಧಿಕವಾದ ಇಳುವರಿಯನ್ನು ಇವರು ಪಡೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ತಾವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ತಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇತರ ರೈತರುಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿಖರ ಬೇಸಾಯ ಪದ್ಧತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುವುದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಇವರು ಸಹಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇವರ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ಸಾಧನೆಯನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸಿ ಇವರಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯುತ್ತಮ ರೈತ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರದಾನ ಮಾಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ರೈತರು श्रीमान राजेश ओझा। राजेश ओझा जी ये हमारे साथ ऑनलाइन में जुड़े हुए हैं। ये राजस्थान से है, ये नंदीश्याम गांव गोगुंडा उदयपुर राजस्थान से है और ये जोवा की एग्रोफूड इंडिया के संस्थापक भी है। सो ये मूल रूप से सीताफल के उत्पादक और उद्यमी है। ये सीताफल के जैविक खेती के साथ उसका निर्जलीकरण करके जो आइसक्रीम और अदर खान पान उद्योग में उपयोग हो रहा है ये करते आ रहे हैं। और इसके अलावा ये सीताफल बीज से तेल निकाल रहे हैं जो रस चूसने वाले कीटों का नियंत्रण के लिए उपयोग हो रहा है। और इसके साथ साथ ये इसके खाद से जो अनुपयुक्त जो बेकार चीज़ें हैं उससे वो सीताफल के वो खाद भी बना रहे हैं। सो इसके साथ साथ ये हमारे संस्थान के सीताफल की जो उन्नत किस्म है अर्का सहान उसका भी वो खेती कर रहे हैं और साथ में ये उदयपुर की आदिवासी किसानों तक पहुंचा रहे हैं। तो इनके ये हमारे खेडूत मित्र इनकी ये उपलब्धि को देखते हुए इनको आज हमारे संस्थापन दिवस में सर्वश्रेष्ठ किसान की उपाधि प्रदान कर सम्मानित कर रहे हैं। श्री राजेश ओझा जी राजस्थान से। हमारे अगले किसान मित्र है श्रीमान एफ लासन गुजा जी नॉर्थ ईस्ट से। सो श्री एफ लाल सुंघानवाला जी ये टुआल्टे गांव मिज़ोरम के एक युवा प्रगतिशील किसान हैं। ये 2018 के दौरान हमारे जो चंपाई जो केवी के है इसके वैज्ञानिकों ने इनको हमारे जो टमाटर के अत्युन्नत किस्म है जो अर्का सम्राट इसको इसके खेती के बारे में जानकारी दी थी। अब ये बहुत अच्छी तरह से इसका अर्का सम्राट और अर्का अभेद की खेती कर रहे हैं और बहुत अच्छी आय पा रहे हैं। सो 2020 के दौरान भी ये 4.5 लाख रुपए की आमदनी प्राप्त किया है और ये अन्य किसानों को भी ये प्रौद्योगिकी का प्रचार और प्रसार करने में इच्छुक है। तो इनकी ये उपलब्धि को देखते हुए आज इनको सर्वश्रेष्ठ किसान के उपाधि से सम्मानित किया जा रहा है। हमारे अगले किसान मित्र हैं मिस्टर वनलाल कुंगा जी मिज़ोरम से। श्रीमान वनलाल कुंगा जो ये 61 वर्ष के एक मेहनती किसान हैं। ये मिज़ोरम से है, मिज़ोरम के लेंगटे गांव से है और वर्ष 2019 के दौरान कृषि विज्ञान केंद्र केवी के ममित ज़िला के लेंगपुई से ये ICAR के टमाटर रोग प्रतिरोधी किस्म है जो अर्का सम्राट अर्का रक्षक वैरायटी है वो इनको इन्होंने खेती की थी। और इनके जो फसल जब कटाई के आया तब कोविड-19 का लॉकडाउन था तो फिर भी इनका ये जो इतना अच्छा इसका क्वालिटी वगैरह था तो जो ऐजवाल के शहर के विभिन्न इलाकों के ग्राम स्तरीय दास्त पोस्ट जो ग्राम स्तरीय ग्राहक थे वो इनके खरीदी करके इनको बेचा था और वो लॉकडाउन के समय में भी ये 3,60,000 तक का मुनाफा इन्होंने आय प्राप्त किया टमाटर के अकेले खेती से। सो इसके साथ साथ ये आज आगे उनका जो खेती है ये टमाटर के अनेक किस्तों में गए 2020 में भी ये कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं और इनके इस उपलब्धि के मद्देनज़र रखते हुए आज हमारे इस समारोह में इनको सर्वश्रेष्ठ किसान की उपाधि से सम्मानित किया जा रहा है। ये भी हमारे साथ ऑनलाइन में जुड़े हुए हैं। जो हमारे अगले खेडूत मित्र हैं ये मिस्टर चंदन कुमार खुंटिया जी। ये पूर्व क्षेत्र से हमने इनका चयन किया है। श्री चंदन कुमार खुंटिया जी ये सत्याबाड़ी गांव पुरी ओडिशा के एक प्रगतिशील किसान हैं जो पहले चावल की खेती करते थे और बहुत कम आय प्राप्त करते थे। सो ICAR के उपसंस्थान CHES भुवनेश्वर के संपर्क में आने के बाद ये ICAR की उन्नत टमाटर की संकरण किस्म जो है अर्का रक्षक उसका खेती कर रहे हैं और साथ में हमारी जो आईवी गार्ड है अर्का नीलाचल कुंटी और अर्का नीलाचल केसरी जो आम की किस्म है इसका खेती कर रहे हैं और अधिक आय पा रहे हैं। तो इनका इस उपलब्धियों को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए इनको सर्वश्रेष्ठ किसान की उपाधि से सम्मानित किया जा रहा है। Our next entrepreneur is Mr. Pranav Garadadwajan. He is there with us on our today's function. He is present on the dais. So actually he is an entrepreneur. He is a founder director of Bangalore-based Easy Krishi Private Limited. He is working with scientists and research institutes in India and Singapore to provide safe food at scale. And he through Easy Krishi he has served more than 12,500 farmers across 95 locations of Karnataka, Maharashtra and Assam. Currently he and his team are scaling operations operations in East Asia and Singapore. So he has licensed our neem seed pellet technology and producing it at the rate of 20 tons per month. So he is also bestowed with many awards, that is 14 national awards robotics, and in MBA Rotary Youth Leadership Award and Best Consultant Award also. So considering his immense achievements in the field of agriculture and service to the farmer, he is being conferred with he is conferred with the certificate of appreciation from the institute. I congratulate all the award-winning farmers and entrepreneurs. Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Pranav wants to share his views. Prabha.
This message very short, but then I feel overwhelmed by the situation. So I would want to thank Dr. Murthy and the panel for having chosen me. Dinesh sir, who was one of the key people because of whom we took this technology. And more than anything else, all my farmer friends, because of whom we have grown to whatever we have achieved. I just wanted place one request to this audience. I have been closely associated with IHR for the last 1.5 years, and I have seen really market-ready products. Somewhere I feel some emphasis can be given to marketing of these, because these things can make or break couple of lives on the field. A farmer who is spending 40,000-60,000 to grow cabbage cauliflower is now reduced to 20,000-21,000 rupees because of IHR neem pellets. I believe a lot more farmers can take advantage of this. Now is the time for us to go out and tell the world that we have these products. I'm just not talking about Indian farmers, I'm talking about African farmers, I'm talking about Southeast Asian farmers where we are already working. Imagine a small boy coming from Davangere, working his way up to Mumbai, Bangalore, is now reaching Singapore. IHR has the potential, the products have the potential, and the scientists here are no less than the rest of the scientists I work in NUS Singapore. All I request, without taking too much time, is to invite, let's say, YouTubers, the Facebook video bloggers, to IHR, to go out and tell the world about the products which is already there, especially the mushroom. It is almost the need of the hour. The more I see the product line over here, I feel this is a story waiting to be told. With this request, I would, without taking too much time, I would want to thank again Dr. Murthy and the panel for giving me the opportunity to talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those suggestions. I think I assure that we will cater to those suggestions and we will move forward together along with other farmers also. Thank you, Smita ma'am, for introducing all the farmer felicitators. Now I request Dr. Anushma to kindly do the gesture of announcing different awardees who have been selected on this occasion of Foundation Day.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. The committee for finalizing the Best Teacher, Staff, Farmers Award received 4 applications from the technical staff, 3 from the administration category, 6 from the skill support staff category, and 2 from the Best Teachers category. The awardees will be presented with a citation and a cash prize of 5,000 rupees. It's my pleasure to announce the first category of awards, that is the Award of Excellence for Best Teacher, to Dr. Madhavi Reddy, Principal Scientist and In Charge Head, Division of Vegetable Crops, for her excellence in teaching and mentoring the postgraduate and doctoral students in a befitting manner. Madam has offered about 100 lectures, guiding 10 PhD students and 7 MSc students, enabling her students to publish their work in many high-rated journals. Thank you, ma'am. The award for excellence in technical service is being shared by two members, Mr. Veerappa K. Mahishi, Senior Technical Officer Electrical, and Mr. D.V. Ramamurthy, Technical Officer Lab from Division of Fruit Crops. I request Mr. Mahishi sir to receive the honor. Mr. Mahishi has been catering all the electrical works related services initially at Chess Chetterley and presently at the main campus. Sir has put his dedicated efforts in energy saving measures of the institute, dedicated power line to the NHS stalls and many more. Thank you, sir. Sri Ramamurthy has been working on the water management and fertigation trials in various fruit crops, and he has assisted in the breeding projects of medicinal crops also. Currently, he is associated with the production technology experiments of grapes and actively involved in other curricular activities too. Thank you and congratulations, sir. In the administrative services category, the award of excellence is being shared by two members. That is, first one, Mr. B. Lognath, Assistant Administrative Officer, Central Stores, and by Mr. R.G. Ramesh, the In-Charge Chief Administrative Officer. Sir, please come. We would like to congratulate Mr. Lognath also for his dedicated service in the institute for the past 39 years and having served various sections of the institute like purchase, audit, accounts, library and stores and purchase. Thank you, sir. Under the skill support staff category, we have three members jointly sharing the award of excellence this year. Firstly, I request Mr. V. Venkanna to come on the stage and receive the citations. Mr. V. Venkanna from Landscape Unit has been serving the institute since 1983, assisting in various field works in divisions of fruit crops, vegetable crops, and currently in Landscape Unit. Congratulations, sir. Now I request Mr. B. Anjanappa, Skill Support Staff from Farm Management, to accept the honor. Sri Anjanappa has worked as watchman, assisted in various fieldworks, propagation, and later he has worked for 18 years in the library. Currently he is in the Farm Management Unit and is being awarded with the Best Skill Support Staff for the year 2021. Thank you. I request Mr. Lognath sir to receive our citation and cash prize. Mr. Lognath has been dedicatedly serving the institute for the past 39 years and has served at various sections of the institutes in different capacities, and sir is going to retire in this month itself, the end of September. Kindly receive our honor, sir. Lastly, I request Mr. R. Muniraju, the Skill Support Staff from the Division of Fruit Crops, to receive the Award of Excellence in the year 2021. Sri Muniraju has joined IIHR during 1983 and has served for long 39 years assisting in various field management practices. Thank you and congratulations too. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Dr. Anushma, for doing the kind gesture of giving the awardees the prizes. Thank you. Now, I request our most respected DDG Horticulture Science, who has been with us throughout this program virtually, to kindly give his presidential remarks on this occasion. Please, sir.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Ashok Dalwai. Nobody was there who was fighting for us for due credits of horticulture in India. On this occasion, when the Indian Institute of Horticulture Research is celebrating its 55th birthday, for me it's very important actually from three angles. The first, this is the year when India is going to complete 75 years of independence, and the entire world is celebrating the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables declared by the United Nations. And also, this is the year which has marked, as per the latest estimate, our total production has clocked 329 million tons from 27-28 million hectare area. So from these three angles, I think your Foundation Day celebration this year is much more important for me than any other Foundation Day. So when Dr. Dinesh or Dr. Murthy have been trying to invite Dr. Dalwai sir for any other functions also, and when he has spoken, he has mentioned so many points. I have noted down 8 or 9 points. I would say they are the cardinal points for us to pay attention actually. And when we are celebrating this function, then we have with us many opinion leaders in horticulture, those who have guided students, those who have been able to charter the research programs for not only IHR, but in various capacities, working as vice chancellors of universities, dean and directors, and very active researchers in their lifetime. So this is time to remember each and every stakeholder, particularly those who chartered the plan of horticulture for IHR Bangalore. We pay our homage to them that they planned such an institution. They could have never imagined, they could have never envisioned that this institution is going to play such a crucial role in the development of horticulture and agriculture in India, and going to bring cheers on the cheeks of the poor farmers. So we have with us chief guest in Dr. Ashok Dalwai. Of course, Honorable Minister has left, Honorable Minister of Horticulture, Karnataka State. Both the ADGs working with us here in the subject matter division, Dr. D.P. Ray, ex-Vice Chancellor OU80, and also at present he is working as Chairman of the Research Advisory Committee for IIHR Bangalore. Dr. B.M.C. Reddy, ex-Vice Chancellor, several directors of the ICAR institutions, particularly horticulture institutions directors, they are also online. Alumni, students, staff, and friends. So I'd like to congratulate each one of each family member of the horticulture fraternity, IHR fraternity, for 55th Foundation Day lecture. Sir, you mentioned many points, but I can hardly justify, but I'll highlight 1 or 2 points, sir. You mentioned that the composite agriculture growth engines, horticulture constitutes one of the very, important component of the composite engine, and which has brought this day today that we take pride in statistical value of 329 million tons. And I think the way the varietal transformation is happening, varietal replacement, we are trying to make it happen. Today, the rate of acceptance of varieties and adoption of our technologies, production technologies, management options, or other agronomic options, the speed at which we could see in the field 5 years before or 10 years before or decades before, it has attained a new pace. So we think if it continues, I know there is a looming climate change that might dent a bit. So we have to be prepared in terms of our responsiveness to develop the matching technologies, varieties, and the agronomic options so that farmers are not going to lose on account of these things. One more important thing is that if this is going to happen, then the productivity is going to rise, and this will lead to the increased level of productions. As you already know that there are many commodities where we are producing in quantities much more than what we need today. Although the processing rate is quite less in India, hope, as you said, sir, this needs a push, and already the policies are there in place, which is going to provide incentive. I think this is going to happen, which did not happen in the yesteryears. As you also said, sir, in the past, our focus was serial centric. We paid our main attention for increasing the production, developing the technologies and varieties, where the production is going to this was aimed to increase the production. But now, with this, the value addition time has come. Unless we do the value addition for the consumption to cater to the needs of the Indian population itself here, and we export these things outside, we have to pay attention to the value addition. We have to stick to the standards of the requirement from for example, the Occidental countries. They have their own standards. We have to stick, and therefore the role of research and development, innovative approaches in production systems has to be there in place. And I think, Dr. Murthy, today we have to lay the foundation stone of these things also, so that we address this one in a much more robust way in days to come, years to come, so that we can place Indian horticulture in a different league, that is the global league. As you said, sir, we are producing, it's a very paradoxical situation. In my understanding, that we are producing so much of the food grains, so much of horticultural commodities, still more than 200 million population is suffering from the malnutrition. How this thing can coexist? Certainly there is some mistake, some problem somewhere. I think this needs a deliberation at length, threadbare, and I think institutions like IIHR Bangalore, in its role with the logistics and infrastructures and capabilities that you have at the time with you, I think we have to think on it and see what we can do to address this problem, so that a solution or impactable solution is derived out of it, and through which we can connect the stakeholders. As you said, sir, the horticultural crops is known that it creates employment 3 to 5 times more than the cereal crops. And I think this is the time when we give more focus to the newer technologies, when we talk of the making Indian agriculture, particularly horticulture, the digital agriculture, then the role of IoTs, drone application, ICT tools and technologies for dissemination of technologies. This is going to secure a much stronger position in days to come. Therefore, I think today when we are celebrating 55th Foundation Day lecture, as the technical stakeholder from the Government of India, IHR has a greater role to dwell into and do needful, so that we can bring tomorrow's grape cultivation, mango cultivation, or any vegetable flower cultivation on a digital mode. However, the challenge is that we have to prepare the farmers also from that angle. We have to train them, skill them, and we have to maintain a continuity, so that these technologies, through these technologies, we are going to cut down the cost without any dent on the quality. And we are able to give consumers of India and also the buying sides also from the other countries the commodity which is acceptable, healthy from environment also, and also to the human beings also. Because, in 2002, our grape consignment was rejected only because of the contaminants, toxins, residues, artificial dyes, so many other adulterants. And the approach adopted by us, by the National Research Center of Grapes in Pune, after 2002, there has not been any major consignment rejection in case of grapes, and we have converted grape industry into the international standard. And immediately after independence, until 1965, 55 or 56 or something, I tend to remember, every single grape that India consumed was on the basis of supply from other countries, from European countries. Today, we have made this country a grape growing country in terms of highest productivity of the grape in the world. And grape is the single commodity today, sir, where the IoT is applicable. Farmers are using IoT. Initially, this was a laughing stock that you are trying to promote IoT in grape cultivation in India. Given the situation that the Indian farmers are illiterate, semi-illiterate, they don't care the technologies, modern technologies, high-tech, because it's, technology intensive, knowledge intensive, capital intensive. So, but we succeeded, sir. Today, our grape cultivation is one of the most modern. And we are exporting to those destinations from where 50 years back or 35 years, 40 years back, we imported grapes. So I think by the innovative tools and technologies and the products that we are going to develop in days to come, years to come, and with the strong ICT tools, we'll be able to connect ourselves with the farmers and stakeholders, providing newer opportunities, increasing the frequency of employment or rural employment at a frequency which is much higher than 3 to 5 times as compared to cereals in days to come. And also that will be very, very attractive to the new populations, younger populations, those who are very savvy to the smartphones and these things. They're very savvy. They know it. Once we can attach horticultural production, value addition, processing, supply chain system through modern tools and technologies, I think this is going to, by default, this will attract the new populations. And the number of the people, number of the youngsters in rural or urban areas, I think they will go into such kind of crops because the profitability is there. Of course, sir, you said the processing has to be there. Government is getting pushed through several ministries, several programs are being launched. I think through institutional mechanism, Dr. Murthy and the family members of ICAR, when we are going with our technologies to the farmers or any stakeholders, I think we should go to them and give them the complete package. What is the national or local policy, local state government's policy also? Not only the technology, how they can get financial assistance, because the set of crops that you are trying to promote, we are dealing with, they are really technology intensive. They need capital, running capital. So once a farmer burns his or her finger, then that breaks the trust and the confidence in the technology. So we have to reach to them with the complete package, the technology plus marketing information plus the government schemes also. For example, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Yojana, so many other schemes, whatever is available either at the national government or to the local government. So the package farmer is getting is complete in itself. And I think that will instill the confidence in the mind of farmers. And the name of ICAR will be really very, very popular names among the farmers. Although it is today, it exists, but I think once we succeed in these ideas, it will happen. ICAR will become the talk of the farming community. I don't have many points, sir, but few more points, sir. As you said that, despite we are producing 329 or 30 million tons, but hardly 2 dozens or less than 2 dozen crops are contributing to the total tonnage. More than 90% of the total tonnage that we produce today is contributed by not more than 2 dozens. We have to expand the diversity. We are a tropical and subtropical country, as you said, sir. We have never capitalized the potential of Himalayan range. From Ladakh and Leh to the Arunachal Pradesh, the physical distance is more than 3,000 kilometers. It offers a great opportunity for these temperate crops: apple, pear, peach, plum, walnut, cherry, strawberry, where India is importing many commodities year on year, several thousand crores every year. We never thought of capitalizing these areas. We have to lay the foundations. So I know ICAR does not work on these set of crops, but when we talk of the horticulture, through which we want to increase the rural employment, increase the income of the farmers, and then they can, by that doing that, we are going to enhance the buying capacity so that they can afford the protein, vitamins, minerals, which are very expensive today. Because when I look at the basic substrate which the consumer has to look for the source of the protein, milk, non-vegetarian diets, or pulses, they're really expensive. And when the number of population, those who are surviving on the daily wages, how much he or she is earning? No fruit is less than 40, 50 rupees kg, save the banana. And forget about the dry fruits. So a person who is going to earn 350 rupees a day on a daily wage if he has husband, wife, and 2 kids, how he or she can support his family? The fruits, vegetables, or the milk, or the other protein-rich diets. So unless we increase more employment opportunities in the rural areas and urban areas, and give them the technologies which is handy, useful technologies, they can, without any difficulty, they can use it. So the area expands, investment comes into, more jobs are created, buying capacity automatically goes up, and they'll be able to buy. I think this is my opinion. Maybe I'm not an economist, sir. You forgive me if I'm doing any mistake here, sir. Sir, as you said, sir, I have done one analysis that when we resort to the dissemination of technologies in any part of the country for horticulture technology particularly, we have never been equitable. We have been very biased. We have taken our technologies in the areas, if I may use the word advantaged areas, I may not be wrong actually. We have always been trying to catch up with the knowledgeable farmers, resource-rich farmers, or areas where the accessibility is much easier, much faster. We never thought of taking technologies. We never thought of enabling farmers, those who are located in disadvantaged areas. For example, arid zones. We have the massive arid zone areas. We did not pay attention to this one. Maybe for the initial 25 years or 30 years after independence, this was needed. But I think many decades we have lost, and we did not pay much attention in taking our technologies to the difficult areas like arid zone areas, despite they have the great potential. Israel is one example. India is importing huge amount of edible oil, sir. You know, sir, before you I'm speaking these things, is not, I cannot justify 80,000 crore, and more than 53% of that is oil palm. There's huge opportunity for the olive cultivation in desert. We could not do it because the proper support was not available. There was no institutional mechanism to take up the research on the oil palm, because the olive, because it was thought initially that this is not a crop we should work on. We should work on the traditional crops like mango, ginger, or peach or plum. The result which he or she is going to get after 20 years. To develop a variety, it takes 20 years. So he loses the many opportunities of promotion in the life. As a result, many of the perennial crops have been at disadvantage. Due credit, due resource allocation also have been a problem. But I think the time has come. We know the value. We have to change. Otherwise, the time will change. There are many points, sir. We have been promoting our technologies. And in India, we have the uncontrolled access to the natural resources. As a result, we have spoiled it, knowingly as well as unknowingly. The time has come that we have to pay greater attention. We have to embrace the biology, then chemistry in control of diseases, pests, and pathogens. We have to develop, Dr. Murthy will have to develop, you have to strengthen these schemes and mechanisms at institutional level, along with the partners, that the biopesticides, controlling agents, insects, predators, the focus has to be given. Let us lay the foundation stone of new generation of the crop protection mechanisms. And while doing that, you have to be a little careful that when you promote these technologies, it has to be cost effective. I know there are some blocks, some hindrances at the ministry level where the registration issue is there, but on a continuous basis, subject matter division, we are pursuing it. I think in days to come, in years to come, things will have an easier way to get them registered, because this is important. We understand when we think that based on our strength, we are trying to promote the export of various horticultural commodities. And the pandemic period for the last 18, 19 months, the export of a variety of vegetable crops from areas we never thought. The export has risen to the level of 14-15%. The export of spices has risen to the level of 25% more than the ordinary years. So that means there is a growing awareness about these crops, tropical and subtropical crops, medicinal and pharmaceutical value of these crops. I think if the trend is going to continue, I firmly believe this is going to be there in place. Then we have to be prepared and through institutions like IIHR, Indian or any other institutions of ICAR or any agricultural universities and KVK system also, we have to rely more on the technologies, the robust technologies, which are going to give the sustainable results, and farmers are able to use these things with a greater ease and contribute their part in the nation building, raising their income and maintaining the ecology in terms of the carbon sequestration or something. And many horticultural crops, if the carbon credit is accounted in terms of some allocation, I think in days to come or in decades to come, I think once it comes that any research program, the financial allocation will be entirely based on the strategic requirement of the country and also the carbon credit of the respective crops. I think these set of crops are going to have a place which is much more eminent than what is today. Your talk today have been very eye-opener, sir. We cannot talk like you as an economist. We have the moving encyclopedia, but we take pride in you, sir. We did not find any ambassador of horticulture for us. Now we have ambassador of horticulture in you, and we hope you'll continue to be that. And we assure you, sir, in our roles with the kind of capabilities our institutions have, we will never let you down, sir, and will achieve the target more than what is set for us, and will be able to put India in our capacity with the 28 million hectare area by enabling on an equitable basis to contribute India in a way so that India is in a league, and we will make India the Amazon of horticulture for the world. With this, thank you so much, sir, for coming on this occasion at IHR. But I wish to invite you again, sir, so that you could come over to our not only IHR but other institutions also to show you the technologies that we have developed and we have taken it to the farmers. One example, and then I'll close, sir. Please allow me. The varieties developed by IHR Bangalore, sir, this has remarkable presence in many parts of the country, sir. The latest is that I must thank Dr. Dinesh, the last director who was retired since beginning. He promoted this variety of tomato to the Mizoram, sir. And this Mizoram state was otherwise importing tomato from the mainland. And 2 months back, I was there. I had a meeting. I was invited by the Chief Minister of Mizoram. He said, I hope the way your variety is doing here, maybe in 1 year or 2 years, will be completely self-reliant in terms of the tomato cultivation, tomato requirement, and we would not import any tomato from the mainland.
Very good.
And I think your variety, Dr. Dinesh and Dr. Murthy, has reached in all the NE states, including Assam, all the 8 states. Such is the power of technology, sir, and I think will make these regions, the unreached areas with the technology, will be doing the hand-holding, will enable the farmers so that it is in sync with the Surface Transport Ministry's the plan that movement of commodities, when by 2050, the country's 62% population is going to live in the cities, movement of the commodities, particularly perishable commodities, logistics and infrastructure, will be able to meet the challenges and will make country proud from securing the nutrition security and even otherwise also. With this, I thank you so much, sir, and we look forward for our guidance and leadership in horticulture so that we can take horticulture to the next level. Thank you so much, sir. Sabhi ko namaskar.
Thank you so much. Very humble as always. Thank you so much. We'll take it forward. Thank you so much. Kind words. Thanks so much.
Special remarks on this occasion. Now I request Dr. Anushma, Nodal Officer, Sports and Staff Welfare, ICAR-IIHR, to kindly present the formal vote of thanks.
Respected DDG, ADGs, our most distinguished guest, Dr. Ashok Dalwai, Dr. B.N.S. Murthy, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I consider it a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have made it convenient to attend this 55th Foundation Day celebrations of ICAR, Indian Institute of Horticultural Research, Bengaluru. We are deeply grateful to the respected DDG, Dr. A.K. Singh, for presiding over this function and for enlightening address. His address was unique as always, and sir, I thank you for presiding the function and addressing the gathering. I must express my deep gratitude to our respected ADGs, Drs. Vikramaditya Pandey and Dr. B.K. Pandey, for joining us in this celebrations. I would like to place on record our sincere gratitude to Honorable Minister Sri N. Muniratna for gracing the occasion and addressing the gathering. We have just listened to the powerful and thought-provoking lecture by our eminent guest, Dr. Ashok Dalwai. We greatly value his contribution in uplifting the livelihood security of the farmers. I take this opportunity to express our sincere thanks to Dr. Dalwai for gracing this occasion as the chief guest and for an insightful address on the role of horticulture in Indian economy. I also express my sincere thanks to directors of various ICAR institutes, vice chancellors of the state agriculture universities, and staff from other ICAR institutes and KVKs, also our RAC members of the institute who have taken keen interest in the program and have taken time out of their busy schedule to attend this function. At this moment, I wish to remember all the former directors and their immense contributions in the development of our institute. Farming is actually never ever easy. I would really love to just salute our very farmers just because of whom we are actually able to just eat all of them. Thank you for accepting our felicitation too. Thank you, Mr. Prabha, also for joining us in this function and receiving our felicitation. I must express my deep gratitude to our respected director, Dr. B.N.S. Murthy, for the initiative he took in holding this function and also for guidance to us in all our activities, ensuring that we always do the right thing in the right way. Thank you, sir. My sincere appreciation and thanks to Dr. T.S. Agora, Nodal Officer, PME Cell, for his guidance and encouragement in holding the function. I would like to thank profusely all the heads of divisions, heads of substations, scientific, technical and administrative staff, students, all the superannuated staff and all other members of IIHR family for their kind cooperation and timely support in the organization of the event. Lastly, my thanks are due to our team, Dr. Smita, Dr. Purnima, the team of selection committee and staff of Division of Social Sciences, AKMU, Transport Section, and Uma Madam and her team, and all other members of the Sports and Staff Welfare Committee who have worked with great dedication to make this program a grand success. And once again, thank you one and all.
Thank you, Dr. Anushma, for being one of the pillars behind successful conduct of today's function. Thank you once again. Let's all raise up now for National Anthem.
तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you one and all.